Boy, oh boy, this was a bad week for tipping. G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video I will review how I went in round 12 and then I'll give you my tips for round 13. All I can say is lucky there's only 5 games in round 13 because I don't think I can continue on with this season if I have more bad weeks. Alright, let's talk about round 12. Started off really well. I backed in the Dogs over the Dragons. They got a really good win there. Bulldogs looked strong. I thought Matt Burton was good. I thought Jacob Kiraz was outstanding for the Bulldogs. And quite frankly, I don't really understand why Kiraz isn't in more conversations for State of Origin, to be fair. Like, he is phenomenal. Kiraz is phenomenal for the Bulldogs. And he's a consistent player. He consistently gives a 7 to 8 out of 10 each and every week. And, you know, he just doesn't get talked about. So I think it's a little bit disrespectful to him, to be honest, because I think he definitely flies under the radar a bit there. But, yeah, him, Birdo, both had good games. Outside of that, like the Dogs, realistically, everybody stood up. Jermaine Salmon, the weak-gutted dog, as Ricky would call him. Great game from him as well. Really good effort there from the Dogs. I think this is one of the best games I have seen from a Bulldogs lineup in quite some time. Right, next up, Cowboys, Tigers. Backed in the Cowboys here. Got a pretty good win there over the Tigers. Not much defense in this game, to be fair. Holmes really stood up in this one despite getting sin binned. You had Nanai really step up. Chad Townsend looked outstanding in it. I thought Tommy Dearden was pretty good. Wasn't great, but he was good. Drinky was outstanding as well. Like, just an all-round good game there for the Cowboys. So, good win there for them over the Tigers. All right, next up, backed in Storm to beat Manly. They nearly got the job done, but Manly were great. Manly were fantastic at Brookie. They looked really good. I thought Brooksy, he looked confident. DC, as always, just Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable. I thought the forward pack for Manly was incredible. Taniela Paseka, very good game from him. Burbo, Jake, like everybody stood up for Manly, so credit to them, really good win there. All right, next up, Raiders against the Roosters. I thought the Raiders would get the job done here. I really, really did. And it's so disappointing to see them not win this game, to be fair. Like, I really thought that they'd turn up at GIO Stadium and, just underestimated the Roosters, man. Absolutely underestimated them. So credit to the Roosters for a very strong performance. You guys 1,000% deserve this win. Like, you just absolutely tell them up. So really good win there for the Roosters. Credit to them. 42-0. If you were to tell me at the start of this week that the Panthers had beat the Sharks, the informed Sharks, 42-0, I probably would have laughed at you. But, man, I thought Cronulla would be up for this game. And, you know, like, I see some Sharkies fans blaming the Nico Hines injury on this. That wasn't the case. Even with Nico, I think it was like at least 24 or 28-0. Like, they were already blowing the Sharks off the park. Like, you can't blame the Nico went down in the first half. You simply can't. This was a massive win for the Panthers. So, great job there, Penrith. Next up, backed in my Rabbitohs here, and I doubled down. I said 13 plus, and they got it done. Very strong performance. Latrell Mitchell moved into the halves and looked really good for South as well. When Whiten went off, Mitchell came in and just did a really good job there. I feel South got a little bit hard done by in the fact that Latrell got sin binned, but Joe Ofahengawe did not. It might just be because I'm a bit of a salty South fan when it comes to these sort of things, but it definitely did rub me the wrong way there. So, yeah, unfortunately, I disagreed with that, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Credit to the Rabbitohs there. Very strong win over Parramatta. All right, next up, I backed in the Broncos, as did 98% of people. Man, I really don't know where this came from. I can't say that because the Titans have been building. And yeah, they were good, man. They were good. And I know both teams were depleted, but the Broncos, they've still got a lot of firepower, like as do the Titans too, I suppose. But I mean, I think that the Titans' injury toll is a bit worse off than the Broncos, to be fair. But yeah, credit to the Titans, man. They came out to play and they bloody played well. All right, and to round out the weekend, I don't know why I didn't change this, but if you jump on TikTok, you'll see that I actually did tip the Warriors in this one. So I changed it to the Warriors, but I mustn't have come on and changed it on the app. So that's a bit of a kick in the dick, if I'm being honest with you, because I came to think the Warriors at home probably do get the job done there. So I don't know why I picked the Dolphins or why I haven't changed that tip, but yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Credit to the Warriors, an undermanned Warriors side, but tell you what, man, they're resilient. They are bloody resilient. All right, let's go. Round 13 tips. 5 games this week. I will be back in 2 seconds. You guys won't see where I'm going or what I'm doing, but we're back in 2 seconds to do these tips. Hey guys, we are back. Now, a few things. One, I didn't realise that when I put on my Rabbitohs jersey and I was going to use a green screen, that the green is going to not be visible. So it's just going to be... I know. I didn't realise that when I started. So it is what it is. We're just going to roll with it. But just reminding you, I didn't know. And also, for some reason, the camera cut off halfway through my tips. So I've had to create a new account so I can put tips in. It's it's very, very, very weird times at the moment. I don't know what the hell's going on with my mind. But yeah, let's get into it though. So here we are. Round 13 tips. Thursday night footy, we've got the Parramatta Eels against the Cronulla Sharks. In the last 5 games, Sharks have won 3 games with an average winning margin of 9 points. Eels have won 2 games with an average winning margin of 13 points. So realistically, this game should be relatively close. Now, you look on form this season, the Cronulla Sharks have won 4 of their last 5 games. Their only loss recently has been to the Panthers, where they lost this week 42-0. With the Eels, they've had a pretty rough trot. They have now lost 5 games in a row. So yeah, not great for Parramatta. And when you look at sort of origin players going out, neither team, they probably only lose 1 player each. Parramatta, Jermaine Hopgood to Queensland, and Nico Hines, obviously for New South Wales for the Sharks. So, look, I think the Sharks should win this one. I don't think they'll win it by a massive margin. I'm going to say a 12-point win here. I don't think it'll go over the 13-point, but I think it'll be on a higher end of a 1-12. I just think the Sharks... they've got enough firepower to get the job done there, so I am backing them in there. All right, next up, we've got the Knights against the Bulldogs at McDonald Jones Stadium. Now, last year, the Knights beat the Bulldogs 108-6. Not in one game. That was over the 2 games they played in 2023. Not great for the Dogs. However, the Dogs put on a 24-point win over the Knights earlier this season. That was played at a core stadium, I believe. Collectively, the Knights have won on an average of 27 points over the last 5 years, and the Bulldogs an average winning margin of 13. Obviously, that Knights figure does get lifted quite heavily due to their big wins last season. But yeah, look, I think this will be a pretty close game, to be fair. The Knights, I don't think they'll lose any players to Origin. Obviously, Callum Ponga is out injured, so yeah, he's really their only major injury, I think. But the Bulldogs, they will lose Stephen Crichton. They'll likely lose Matt Burton. I think that's it for the Doggies. So 2 major losses there, to be fair. And I think the Knights, they're playing really well at the moment. They had the bye this week, but they have won 4 games in a row. Whereas the Dogs, they played well on Thursday night, I think it was, against St. George. But I think the Knights will be too good here, especially with that captain Crichton out and Matt Burton as well. So I do think that the Knights get the job done here. But yeah, I want to say the Bulldogs win. I really want to say Bulldogs win, but I just can't. Newcastle will be too good there. Also, these standings aren't up to date. Obviously, guys, I record these videos on Sunday. The reason for that is I'm bloody flat out during the week, and there's no chance I'll be able to get these videos up by I'll record them after Teamless Tuesday. So Sunday is really my only opportunity to do it. So that's why we do it so early, guys. I tell you every week, but I know sometimes I get new people. And if you are new, guys, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Getting close to 6,000. I just hit 20K on TikTok as well. So follow me over there. I'm doing a giveaway at 25K. But yeah, back to the tips. Next game is the Panthers and the Dragons. Panthers have won for all 5 of their last games against St. George Illawarra. Obviously, the average winning margin there for them is 12 points in those 5 games. Prior to the loss against the Warriors, they were 4 games in a row this season. Then they beat the Sharks in one of the best games I've seen from Penrith this season, 42-0. The Dragons have been really disappointing. Look, there's been some games where I'm like, this team looks good, man. This team looks good. And then they just, the week after, they just absolutely pooped the bed. But, yeah, I think both sides lose players. The Dragons will lose Ben Hunt. They will likely lose Zach Lomax as well as Jaden Sewer. Potentially Jaden Sewer. Panthers will lose Isaiah Yeo, Liam Martin, Jerome Luai, Dylan Edwards, Brian Ta'o. So definitely a lot more players going out for the Panthers. But I do think they've really instilled a next man up mentality there. So I reckon they'll be right. They've got players like Tyrone Peachy that can come into the side. They've got Dane Laurie that can come into the side. They've got enough players to cover. Jack Cole is a very good half. I think they'll be fine. So I am backing in the Panthers here. I do think the Dragons will struggle without the organisation of Ben Hunt and without the height of Zach Lomax as well. So yeah, I think the Dragons will struggle in this one. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I do think they'll struggle. All right, next up we've got the Raiders and the Dolphins. Both sides have won 1 game each. They met in round 9 and round 2 of 2023. Round 9, the Raiders beat them by a point. Round 2, the Dolphins beat the Raiders by 6. Both sides have been pretty good this year. The Dolphins went down today to the Warriors. The Raiders went down to the Roosters in pretty poor fashion as well. Dolphins really only lose Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. They've got Trey Fuller there, who is a very capable replacement, so I think they'll be fine. The Raiders, I doubt they lose any players to Origin. Corey Horsburgh, I don't think will get called up for Queensland. So I am going to back the Dolphins here, just because I think they're riding a little bit more momentum. I think, they did lose to the Warriors. Very close game, but I think they'll be fine, man. I think they'll bounce back and get a good win over the Raiders. All right, to round out the weekend, the Sunday ticket, we've got the Sydney Roosters against the North Queensland Cowboys. Roosters have won 5 of their last 7 games, an average winning margin of 19 points. The Cowboys have won 2 of their last 7 games with an average winning margin of 9 points. All right, this is interesting. Cowboys will lose Jeremiah Nanai. They will lose Tom Dearden. They will lose Val Holmes, potentially Murray Taulagi. Yeah, they've got a lot of coverage. They do have a lot of coverage, but that's gonna hurt them, man. Especially because the Roosters, they lose Joseph Suali'i. I mean, they've got players that can cover. They really do. They've got Junior Pauga. They've got several. They've got that. I think Robert Toya is injured, but they've got him. I think that if he's not injured, he can cover. The Roosters have enough to cover. They've got enough cover there. Whereas the Cowboys, I don't know if they do have enough. I don't know because, Roosters really only lose Suali'i and Crichton. You look at the second rows, they've got Satili Tupanua, they've got Egan Butcher, they've got Nat Butcher, they've got Siwa Wong. They've got enough. I think Roosters win, and I do think they win big in this one. All right, to round out round 13, Thursday night, Sharks 1-12 over Parramatta. I'm going to say Kale Iro, anytime try scorer. Knights 1-12 over the Bulldogs. David Armstrong for me, anytime try scorer. Panthers over the Dragons 1-12. Again, for me, I'm going to say, I'm going to go Samir Turuva anytime there. Dolphins 1-12 over the Raiders. Trey Fuller anytime. And then Roosters 13 plus over the Cowboys. And I'm going to go bold here and say Dom Young hat-trick double in this one. All right, guys, let me know who you're tipping down below in the comments. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.